Well, friends. We've returned. It's Shipbreakers, Stars Without Numbers Revised. Episode 33. We're no longer the crew of the LAS Golden Goose. We do something else now. We're rebranding. Excuse our dust. It's been a while since our last episode, and it could be a while until our next episode. You never know. But we're here. And we're launching off of a tiny moon orbiting black hole in a new ship that's really a very old ship that kind of doesn't mostly work. Does that catch everyone up where we were?
I feel like that's roughly accurate.
In a total blackout.
Let's talk about those goals, because two of you, your goal I have erased, and the crew goal has also been erased. So
Yeah.
Is mine the one that's not erased? Because I need to talk to Zach.
no,
Oh, that's
Quentin's
true.
is hash out the Psionic Academy structure.
That's true. Okay.
Oh, that's mine. Yeah, I did that last time, roughly speaking, right?
What do you guys want to do? Talk to me about your goals.
Quentin's goal is to organize an expedition to the actual naval yard that he's been trying to get to, other Psionic Academy for this whole time. So that's technically his long-term goal as well. So I don't know if that's fair. So,
Well, finding it and organizing an expedition to it are two slightly different things.
okay.
An expedition could be launched without you and have found it and then never return, so you would never get the Find the Psionic Expedition experience.
Why didn't we think of that? Just contract someone else to go do it.
We were the contractors, but
We hired ourselves.
yeah.
I would like to find a way to tell Zach not to drink the vial he got from Fat Thor or Bryce.
Listen, you're heroes. You're pretty high-level heroes. I don't know that making a phone call...
Well, we're in a blackout, right?
Yeah, this is going to be a jump that you easily accomplish. I think if you restated the goal to be not contact him, but convince him
Oh, yeah,
not to
fair.
do it, that would be different.
The end goal would be getting him not to do it one way or another. Yeah.
Okay.
Please, not until not without me being there.
That would make it better. Is you standing there watching him. Okay.
Well, then I get to figure out, you know what I mean.
Cain.
I have an idea, but I know I won't be able to do it in the session.
It started as an idea. Earth's mightiest superheroes. I want to form the Avengers.
The two
Minerva's
things that come
mightiest
to
beyonds.
mind are to use the pre-tech component that we have to continue to do repairs, and the other was to try to study the dust in some way.
Your first goal, if you wanted to do that, I would require you to make the repairs, not Van-Vee. His, you know what I mean? Because your goal is like easily it's so easy to accomplish if Van-Vee does it. It's literally you just hand him a part and he installs it. He basically has no chance of failure. You know what I mean?
Yeah. But I figure there'll be some time,
Okay.
where, because my ship is slower, where I'll be alone.
Okay.
I can try to install the part.
As long as you are the one attempting it, I'll allow for this.
I was going to say, it sounds very MINERVA-like to say, I want to install a component that I don't want Van-Vee to know about, so I'm going to do it on my own. Without him knowing.
now
the risk
that
of
is
breaking the
true for
component.
sure.
Oh, would
fair.
you do want to keep it such a secret you would risk breaking the component?
Well, I assure you that whether it's installed or not, it will break. It will be functionally gone and unrecoverable.
Of course.
A crew goal.
Crew goal. Acquire more pre-tech components?
After one breaks?
But what is it we're all trying to do? That's
I had a goal much further up that at the time I think was just for Van-Vee, but I could see it potentially affecting all of us if we build one of those, acquire and then figure out the schematics to rebuild one of those mech mining suits. The thing is, we don't quite know to give it to basically my mom now. The thing is, we don't know where she's located, but once we figure that out, it would kind of benefit all of us to help try to make a suit for someone working outside of Lita for mining. That's their go-to thing.
So you want a crew goal of reverse engineering the Midopilian mining suit,
basically. Like right now, I don't think Quentin has a reason to do that. But once we figure out where my mom went, you would.
Potentially, yeah. Let's see this. I'm open to the idea. I don't have any like amazing other ideas, so I'm open to the concept.
It's also a total tangent from anything else we're doing. So.
Yeah, it'd be because I'm thinking the two big things that we have, because we've been leaning on long-term crew goals, are the old Psionic Academy and Scarfy. Those are kind of our two big, long-reaching goals. So it makes sense maybe
happening. One or the other.
So maybe using one of those, like going there and like getting to either of those could be a crew goal, because it's going to take more than just showing up there at this point.
Two of Quentin's, both of Quentin's personal goals are related to heading out to the Gemini cluster there. So, I mean, I'm fine with aligning the crew goal to that.
So if we go to Scarfy, no XP for you.
Yeah.
Because it makes, I mean, there's the obvious draw for Quentin. There's an obvious draw for MINERVA.
So crew goals, you have to convince Van-Vee that
we can focus the crew goal a little bit more on MINERVA by saying it's explicitly to go and investigate the signal from the, why can't I remember the name of the organization that is religious based in AI?
The Imago Dei.
Imago Dei, there, yes.
And I think it might also be, I wonder if we could also have or at least have the thought of maybe trying to find some older tech that might help us figure out more with the dust.
For sure.
That sounds like a Scarfy thing.
Stick of it too.
Yeah, I mean,
so
if
what
it can
is your
help
crew
us
goal?
prep for Scarfy.
I'm hearing two different goals going in two different directions, which is incredible.
Indeed.
Might I suggest your crew goal then is decide where your next destination is? Since it sounds like Lita is your immediate concern, and after that is a big question mark.
Pick our expedition, sure.
Pick your expedition. Oh, we're playing Anno 1800 now. I understand. Yeah, we're on the same page.
There you go.
Okay, pick your expedition. Perfect. I can't wait for you guys to remember to do this.
5 minutes left.
Oh yeah, very into the session. Oh, guy, Scott.
Yeah. So what do we do next?
So before we get started, I do want to mention that I build a lot of references into a lot of my shows, and some of them, most of them, go over people's heads unless you are a fan of truly obscure media. That said, pretty much everything involving Phenomena Fleet Systems and the carrier ferry was based off of a specific person who has just retired from internet broadcasting because the corporation she worked for intentionally screwed her over. So she is leaving the internet forever, which really sucks. That's it. That's all I have to say is that giant soulless corporations crush everything in their path. Not that that's ever been a plot point in this particular show.
New crew goal. Take
inciting
down
incidents? No, never.
I love the idea that this has somehow turned you against Phenomena Fleet Systems. For no apparent reason in character, you've all decided you hate them.
No.
The first thing we see happen is a young woman begins screaming and breathing heavily. In the background, we can see science fiction Tesla coils, large computer banks that look like a combination of organic sort of biotechnology and ancient mandate super tech. The skyline is roiling purple clouds that seem to stretch into infinity, and the size of the structure that she is in is difficult to determine. It seems very large, but there is no scale or context besides her being there. And after she's done screaming, she says, "Hello?" And we hear a voice, mechanical, harsh, absolutely coming from a speaker with the bass overtuned, that says, "How did you get here?" I just woke up here. I think I was dead. What is your designation? My name is Penelope Polk. Polk. A surname. You are related to the leader of the Leiden Science Expedition, Quentin Alexander Polk. Yes? Yes? You are now my guest. I'll be waiting for him. Okay, thank you. You think he's coming here to pick me up? He's coming. Soon. We cut to the MINERVA driving through space, cresting over the top of the small moon, the black hole ominously eating everything it touches in the foreground. What do you guys want to do? You have an outstanding message request from, of course, your good pal, Murder for Hire, who wants to know when the communications blackout should be lifted. But other than that, you're getting extremely basic navigational data, and that's about it.
Okay. I feel like we would all be sort of together discussing what's next. From that perspective, Quentin would throw out there, so y'all will get this the ship in the air, this bird's flying. What's next? What do we got to do? So what are our options? We need to get her out to the edge of the system so we can jump out in some way, shape, or form. She's limping along. MINERVA, what do you think we should do?
Where do you want to stash her again? I can't remember.
Stash?
Like where you gonna keep her? You're just gonna keep her with you the whole time, or are you gonna hide her someplace for a bit?
Well,
I'm whole now.
yeah, we've got.
Yeah, but we have a lot more work to do. No,
we do.
And I still plan to come with you.
We're just going to have to work some logistics here, Van-Vee, I think. Figure out what the actual marching orders are going to be.
I guess I wish I could do my split processing on myself so I could pilot and work on your ship at the same time. That was a joke, MINERVA.
Oh, I was just starting to think about how to maybe split your... okay, I understand. I'm sorry.
Well, that's scary. You feeling all right?
Yes, I'm sorry. I'm spending a lot of time going through the systems over and over. But I'm here. I'm paying attention.
So he's trying to think if he's ever heard MINERVA say or have to say, "I'm paying attention."
Oh, interesting.
I know there's a lot that we need to take care of on Lita.
There it is. My personal plan is to get us back to Lita. Let me, if this makes sense to y'all, I think we get both these ships back to Lita. We organize, we figure out what we're going to be doing expedition wise, because I think we got a couple things, high on the priority list, places to go, things to look for. My personal argument would be obviously to head out to the Gemini cluster and see what we can see. But, that's what I
prefer to call him Zach, but yeah, I want to go see the other y'all.
Well, if you prefer to call him Zach, then call him Zach.
Well, I'm just saying, the captain said, "Yeah, all right, MINERVA." I can see you're thinking on multiple things at once here.
I do want to remind you, because it seems that you may have let it pass, but last episode, you did briefly discuss the idea of docking at Omura 9 here.
We did. And I was going to bring that up as well. So
because there is another actual Y'all running around, and the last place you saw him on was Omura 9. But also, Minerva can only jump one system.
Yeah. Without Van-Vee's help, Van-Vee can get it up to 2, which can get us across the gap. But that would mean we're splitting the party in some way, shape, or form.
It also means you need a pilot for the Goose Nest.
That's
technically the VI can pilot it, but it's nowhere near as good as Van-Vee.
Okay.
We don't actually have to roll.
I would not expect it to be able to just do it. Interesting, terrifying. Maybe we find a pilot on Omura 9.
I do think we talked about that.
So go ahead.
Y'all's probably a pilot. But I do think we talked about it like last time, if Minerva would trust Van-Vee flying the ship. It took a while, but I think we got there.
Yeah, I mean, Minerva's reservations weren't you flying the ship. It was ensuring that we had a proper interface for you to use.
Mm-hmm.
Makes sense.
Cool. All right. Well, I think we got an eventual destination. We're definitely going to have to make a stop in either Jota Mankira or Lamy Triad to make that happen. So either we're doing a quick, skip through our man Jace Bronwyn's puddle, or the other direction. Not sure which we feel like is better, but that's the only way we get close enough to Lita to get Minerva you there. Outside of that, though, Omura 9, we're talking about. We got Minerva here. She's a little busted up still, and we got a black market right there, full of potentially some tech that we can, scrounge up that might be able to at least fix 1 or 2 things. No guarantees, but it's worth a shot while we're here, from my perspective. That said, I have no idea what the situation on the ground is. Certainly, I don't want anybody probably recognizing me, but I do have a vested interest in also seeing if there's any psionic survivors on the station. Oh man, there's a lot, but the main goal would be to get pre-tech components.
Yeah, but I feel like before we dock anywhere, it might be good to let Murder for Hire end the blackout. Otherwise, it will just seem suspicious that we're the only one going somewhere in the blackout.
I agree. We definitely, but we want to time that well. My main thought and question is, can we might be able to get on station and secure those needs, right? Those thoughts, and get Minerva to the edge of the system and jump out before we lift the blackout. I don't know. That's going to take like 2 to 4 days. I forget how long that is, but
the Minerva is slower than the Goose Nest, considered.
Okay. The one pre-tech component that we got, can we use that on its engines to increase the speed or whatever from that perspective, or what is the limiter?
To restore its normal speed characteristic.
Yeah.
Depends how bad Kain wants his XP.
So I can't level up anymore, remember?
So restoring the engines requires restoring the spike drive, which I believe I told you explicitly could not do with the pre-tech component.
Mm-hmm. Oh, okay. So we're saying that it's like straight. I see. The speed.
The spike drive speed controls what speed you also travel in real space.
Okay, I thought it was like a universal, like always 24 hours to the next scene or something like that.
It's divided by your spike drill rating.
Okay, cool. That helps me to understand that. Thank you.
That's why your ship is so fast.
So yeah, that makes sense. We don't need to worry about using it for that then. That means we can...
That's how it works.
Makes sense to
I don't recall, but...
Start sending Minerva to the edge, but don't jump, don't go anywhere yet. And then we dock Golden Goose, get what we can, get what we need, and then fly back out to meet Minerva in space. And then we try to jump together, I guess. It's going to work when we got different speeds and different destinations and all that. But
we'll jump to the same place, but one of us
different
is going to be running around, I think.
Yeah, that's fine.
I think that is going to be what it is going to be. So I think that's a solid plan. That makes sense to me. Minerva, dispatch you off to the edge of the system, keep burning and churning, and Van-Vee and I will make a quick pit stop and see if we can get some information. Maybe get lucky while we're there.
I can try to integrate the component we have now while you're on the station.
That sounds great. What are you thinking?
I haven't decided, but if there's something that you think would be helpful to everyone else to restore first.
Well, the only thing that comes to mind to me is right now, I don't think you got any way to defend yourself. That might be a bit of a priority.
I can restore a weapon. I could try to restore a weapon.
It may be worth it.
You could also try to restore a defensive system as well.
Yeah.
Very true. Does that sound like what we're going to do?
I think so.
Minerva, I know you've been busy lately, but you took that little learning link device I had, right? And you were kind of trying to study it.
I was. I know that it's an unrelated tech to the dust, but it's a different type of transmission medium that I'm not used to working with that might give us some insight.
Well, I'm just thinking, if I'm trying to figure out if we go to Mirror 9, how I might try to find this other y'all. And I was thinking maybe I try reaching out with the link, which by no means I'm an expert with. It just kind of feels like, I don't know, I send out kind of like a weird sonar pulse and see if anything's interactive or not. But I don't know if you've learned anything from this little here kindergarten learning device here.
I haven't yet. We were busy working on getting the ship moving, but
I figured. I just figured I'd ask.
but I can study at the same time I try to work on one of my systems.
Yeah, that split thinking thing. All right, that sounds good. Worst case scenario, I'll just say, "Have you seen someone that looks like me?" And the first person who says, "Yeah, you," I'm going to slap him upside the head.
I will remind you that he was wearing a mask last time you saw him.
Right, but I mean, would I gather enough from how my brother looked, how my dad looked? Can I make a roll? I feel like I would figure that out.
He's wearing a mask. For all you know, he could wear a mask all the time and no one would ever know what he looks like. So you could be like, do you know anyone that looks
other
like
people,
me?
Yeah.
And they'd be
other
like,
people
no,
won't know.
I've never seen anyone that looks like you. And that would be true.
That is fair. I was thinking more for what I might know, but other people wouldn't know anything. So that's fair. Well, back to reaching out with my sonar.
What system would you like to bring online?
I'd like to think about it while they do their station trip.
So you are heading out to the system edge while they make that trip?
Yeah.
Before we start, I would like to respond to MFH and explain to him our itinerary and our intention to have him drop it as we leave.
Okay. He sends back a receipt of message acknowledgement.
Wouldn't want to leave that man waiting.
You guys a poor time for me to.
He agreed to it. Somebody's paying him. He's happy.
Yes, he is being paid a lot of money.
Not mine.
I feel like reading that messaging was poor timing for me to also read Soundwave's message. I was like, Jesus.
So it would be 48 hours. Your ship's actual spike rev rating is a 3, right?
Ours, the cruiser?
Yeah. Yes. Yeah. And then I assume Van-Vee is going to use his piloting skill to treat it as if it is one higher. There
we go.
Okay, so it will take you 12 hours to reach Omura 9.
Beautiful.
I think that there is a non-zero chance that you may reach the system exit point before Minerva does.
I love that.
Oh, man.
I think you, unless your trip takes more than 24 hours, one solar day, you will arrive before she does.
Well, if we catch up to her, we would just coast next to her. We wouldn't leave her in the dust.
You arrive at the station of Omura 9, which is teeming with activity. So because there's no communications, people are... And visual, like, light-based communications have been explicitly banned by MFH. People are just parking their ships and floating into airlocks. In order to do business. So it's literally just like a circus caravan combination of just like dozens of ships trying to jockey for an open port, a docking port, and then when they can't do that, they either launch cargo lighters or just jump out of the ship and float over to the station.
Quentin has tells Van-Vee to go park, somewhere with some decent space. Don't worry about landing. I think I can teleport us to that market area if we want.
That's a good point, sir. I was thinking about maybe if we had that stealth shuttle, but that's a lot easier to just bam in and out.
As your cruiser is approaching, you notice other ships are getting out of the way. Like some of them are reacting faster than others, but there is a explicit intent as you are approaching Omura 9. You're like a shark that is causing all of the smaller fish to leave.
Oh, this is so nice not to have ships trying to ram us for once. Gosh. Wait, how do they know we're us? Did I miss something? It doesn't matter.
They can't look out a window.
I like this.
That's fair. Well, if you see a clear path, I suppose you might as well take it. We don't have to advertise my powers if I bamf in front of somebody, technically, although
I'm totally picturing.
That's the open question. Can I imagine a place that is that Quentin has been in the area that would be like,
I mean, you
safe
remember
from eyes.
The airlock that you arrived at.
Yeah. Okay. Well, the goal, and with the communications blackout, that would, negate surveillance, so to speak, or otherwise.
I mean, internal station communication is still going to happen.
Mm-hmm.
Like CCTV and that kind of stuff. But
yeah, essentially, I'm just trying to figure out if there's anywhere that we can get in where somebody's not going to immediately be like, I saw you teleport. Does Quentin remember such a place?
The bathroom.
I mean, look, this was not a look. When you went there, it wasn't clear that there was, per se, a security system.
Okay.
Like, if you'll recall, that particular airlock was not as highly functional as other airlocks you had been in.
Okay. I don't recall.
Omura 9 is a pirate station run by pirates.
I get it.
It is a barely functioning shithole.
Being cautious, All right. Well, then we'll make our way to that particular airlock then.
All right. So there is only two people left on the ship then. Your sister and Iono. And
we would let them know that we're heading out, what we're doing, keep the ship on lockdown,
Okay. What is the defensive protocols you leave set with the virtual intelligence? If someone approaches the ship, if someone tries to enter an exterior airlock, what is the ship's response to hostile events?
Yeah, I mean,
signal. Can't signal us. Damn.
Yeah, I mean, that's right. That's right. Immediately,
you can
start moving away
for sure. It'll attempt that.
Move away from threats, by default, and fire, as a last resort, this type of thing. But protect the crew is its main directive. Protect the crew.
Maybe something about, vacate the space and then loop back around at X time.
I like that. That'd be smart.
I just feel like opening fire with this many crew again.
All right. I know. We got to play that next winter break.
It was fun.
Doing dust off. Yeah. So the two of you arrive in the airlock. You open it up. The familiar interior cowboy, dusty, cloudy scene of a shithole desert next to a capybara dealer who sees you come in and says, "Oh, hey, boys, I recognize you two. You looking to rent another capybara to get around here?"
Oh, I suppose Louis would be joining me if he's if we're doing the cappy dance. Yeah, hit us with one. Got my boy here.
Okay, all right. You look kind of familiar, fella.
To me or to him?
No, he's saying it to Quentin.
Oh, that's right. Are you sure?
Yeah, I'm real sure. Pretty sure you've been banned around these parts.
Oh, well, that's probably a problem.
My hand goes to my pistol.
The station's under new. Whoa, hey, you go for your pistol. He goes for his pistol, and he says, "Whoa."
I'm not drawing it. I'm just like hands.
He's got his hand on his pistol as well. He's not drawing it. He says, "Whoa,
all right,
calm down, boy."
All good.
Station's under new management now. I'm not sure the wanted poster still applies to you. It's my understanding you're friends.
I do have a certain understanding that there may have been a change of management.
Let me
in
just
my
check
favor.
the database here and see whether your bounty's still active.
Quentin has activated his, psionic armaments.
Telepathic armory. Yeah.
Yeah.
Can I like
Armor's
watch
up.
closely what I don't know how to tell
Around.
this. This is like a MINERVA thing, but watch closely what he's doing, making sure like he's not like, when a bank's like, let me just look into that and hits the call for help button. I want to make sure he's like
He doesn't.
I don't know
I
how to
mean,
check that.
he's a capybara dealer, not a.
Yeah.
Right, but when he's checking the database, I don't want him just sending an outbound message saying, we got
Okay.
him, he's here.
All right. I would like you to make a perception check then.
What did we say that was? No.
Definitely was. It's definitely not no. Under zero circumstances is that no.
Notice.
With wisdom.
I like this. This is much better.
There's zero circumstances where it's no.
I don't know.
You keep an eye on him. He pulls out his data tablet, begins flipping through it, and he says, all right. Looks like just a few days ago, ship parked in with orders to remove you from the list. Now, just because you ain't got a bounty on you, fella, doesn't mean that people around here aren't going to remember that time you used psychic powers to scare shit out of people. And you took a dead body off the station.
Or did. Funerals gotta happen somewhere.
I'll tell you what, I'm going to give you a capybara as long as you don't tell anyone I gave it to you.
Mum's the word.
All right.
Quentin starts like rustling hair, grabs some dirt. It's in my space. Do you got a big hat there, baby? Baby, let's switch coats.
What?
So this guy's
right.
writing a message that's like, to Trinity Corporate Alliance, dealership, offered your friends, one free capybara, want reimbursement from the syndicate.
So, we're keeping this capybara, then it's ours.
No, it's a capybara rental.
I mean,
He said give.
Was if you take this capybara, there is going to be a Carlito Sinistra who will pay for this thing and will ask why he's being charged for it.
And Louis
fair.
will suddenly be very jealous on the ship.
If you
Yeah,
want,
we'll see how Louis takes a liking to this particular capybara.
all right, I'm gonna roll a luck check. Just gonna roll a d20 and an 11 plus. All right. This capybara shows up. It's got like dark black fur with like strange purple markings, sort of semi Cheshire cattish. It looks at you with baleful eyes and then looks at Louis, and they both just stand shoulder to shoulder, side by side, ready to ride out into the sunset.
I like it.
Well, shoot. Match made in heaven.
I'm going to call you Himtaro too.
Well, I guess it's yours. So, yeah, call it whatever you want.
Quentin would know roughly what an adult capybara would be worth, right? Like,
Yeah.
And that would be what in this scenario?
Like 500 credits.
Quentin would just, pass that along to him.
Okay.
I
Well,
think.
thank you kindly, sir. I do have to tell you, I can see that your particular capybara's got quite a shine on his coat. I
Sure do.
I know who you are. I suspect you've got a connection to the feed. Any chance you could make sure some of that feed ends up here? We're using kind of low quality substitute stuff. It gives the animals depression, and their coats lost their luster. Some of them are shedding. It's not a good situation.
Access to feed has become very difficult, sir. I definitely, I feel you there. Certainly don't want to see any copies.
A lot
suffer.
of people, for a lot of people, capybaras are sort of like a form of entertainment or like a luxury item. But on Omura,
These are my life.
They're, the old capybaras, we eat them when they die, people use these things for local transportation. It's a rough space station.
I understand. Well, give me a name. I'll see what I can do, of course.
All right, well, this is Custer's Outpost.
Custer's Outpost. I'll make a note. You know, like I said, supply is pretty limited, but if there's anything I can do to direct a few bags your way.
All right, he hands you a business card. His name's Buster Custer, and he runs Custer's Outpost, which is a capybara feed, ranch, and rental.
I love it. Buster Custer. Now, good day, sir.
He gives you a slight tip of his extremely fake lead-in cowboy hat.
Actually, Quentin offers to buy the cowboy hat.
He gives you the cowboy hat for free because you paid for the concierge.
Yeah, Quentin is popping that on his head, pulling the brim low, doing what he can.
Come on, Hamtaro 2, you got a nice coat. Don't worry too much about Louis over there. We'll get you looking just as fine as him in no time.
Hamtaro 2 begins plodding forward at the speed of capybara. Yeah, what's the plan as you ride off into the dusty former asteroid turned cowboy shithole of the future?
So you said station communications are still working. If Quentin pulls up his comm pad, is can he look through local messages and things like that?
Local internet.
Okay. Quentin would start doing that, and just to see, is there
there are numerous messages for you that you have. You can't pull up the ship's account because you aren't on the ship.
Right.
You have a message from Bryce Cullington Dover. Actually, you have 5 of them, and all of them are bolded and
oh damn,
have the line from the desk of the Prime Minister. Answer immediately.
Okay, let's hear those.
Okay, all of them are basically the same message. Like, our deal is still in effect. We're hoping to launch early on July the 15th. Waiting to hear back confirmation from you. And then the next 4 are, our agents have spotted you in system. Just a reminder that our handshake deal is in effect. The number of exclamation points that are added to each message increase with each passing week. So the last message was only sent about 2 weeks ago, which means it must have traveled very fast to get here in time. Like, someone must have put it on a military engine to get here this fast. Today's date is June the 21st.
Oh, man. We're running out of time.
Get out of here in time, technically.
Well, now we've got this boat anchor named MINERVA. I mean,
you have hundreds of messages from Psionics that are reporting in that they're either headed back to Leda, or it's not like they're being mean about it, but some of them are just polite refusals. Like, the Psionic Academy has fallen and my corporation has offered me an excellent, like, my contract with the Psionic Academy. I mean, I'm treating the Psionic Academy as being dissolved, so my contract with you is done. I'm resigning my post as a graduate student, and I'm, if you need me, I'll be on this.
No longer sending dues.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I get it.
You have a message from Finana Fleet Systems asking, it's a 1 month check-in to see how you're feeling about your ship. If you'd like to answer a short survey of questions about your satisfaction rating, these satisfactions are anonymous but can be used for advertising purposes for the company.
Fantastic.
You have a message from Professor Billy Brighton.
Yes, Billy.
And you sent an outgoing message to Harlan Fulcrum.
Correct.
Which is in your outbox now.
Okay.
So other ships that have that message that leave the dock and go to other systems will let it go into the exchange of light messaging system.
Great. Process has begun.
I would also like to run the faction turn right now.
Okay.
So it's gonna technically be a quick one since there are no rolls to be made. You wanted your surveyors to make a move from the Federated Principality to Lida. So they can move 2
Correct.
jumps. That is their action. That is what they do. At the beginning of the month, you gain a number of income points equal to half your wealth score plus 1/4 of your force and cunning, which is 2, which brings you up to 6 points. And your surveyors are now in orbit of Lida.
Awesome.
That is
And
the
like,
full turn.
I love it.
That's all you have. I mean, that's all you have to do. I will remind you, your goal is to expand influence, which technically doesn't
do
have
next
to be
turn.
Lida, but yes, you can attempt to buy a new base of influence on Lida.
Yeah, that's the plan. Awesome. So these messages, one question on that front. I'm trying to remember exactly where we left it. I know that like their exact wording, like in terms of the deal that we had left with MIDI-Pile, because it's been a minute, so I just want to make sure I fully understand consequences here with this guy getting incredibly upset. So they kicked us out of system. The deal was definitely off, but then we sort of reversed course. We got into that scenario.
You also bribed them
someone.
heavily.
Yes. Yes. And so then they were willing to essentially work with us again. My original, I think my current understanding was that the thing that was definitely still on was the potential expedition to Van-Vee's target there, Scarfy. And we were definitely going to try to make the pit stop through.
I will point out
Con
that
to get
potential expedition was run by the Circle of 8, all of whom, all noted members have
Johnson
been
took
arrested.
over.
Okay.
Yeah.
This is where my confusion probably is from. I was trying to remember exactly what panned out.
The deal that you made with the government was to recover the Hosta-class cruiser Minerva.
Right.
And allow it to be studied so that they could work on the Golden Hind-class heavy cruisers. They would repair it and refurbish it for you over the course of 3 months. And in the process, they would use that to reverse engineer and finish the Golden Hind class.
Okay. I thought Minerva wasn't going to let them reverse engineer because she had already given they weren't allowed internal because of she had already given the schematics for the hull.
The deal has changed several times.
That's fair. I know. That's where I'm literally trying to.
They were sending a occupation in force to punish the pirate base as cover for
definitely that, and I was excited for that.
Yes.
So okay. So I think there's definitely going to be some consequences. I mean, they're already sort of against us to begin with because of a couple things at the moment.
You just gave
mostly...
them an incredible amount of money as a bribe.
That's fair. I'm only by that I was going to say that mostly because we're kind of closer to Fanana at the moment, which they are not super happy with, as I recall.
That's true.
But we will see how that all shakes out. We definitely will have to send a mea culpa of some kind to Bryce Kellington Dover. Quentin plans to be passing those messages over to Minerva and having a discussion once we can actually have that discussion again.
That'll be a fun discussion.
Oh, it's great. Precious. So, as we're plodding along through,
I will point out that you signed that agreement as the official head of government for Lida. You did, because there was discussion about moving the Psionic Academy that you rejected, but you made that agreement about the ship as
I really don't recall.
I don't remember that either.
I don't know. That did not happen. I'm like 90% positive that Quentin made no specific agreement for himself after.
I just remember shit hitting the fan. I had to shoot my dad. Everything became better, but I don't know what we agreed
and
to.
when they kicked us off and then let us back with a bribe, to sort of get rid of penalties explicitly as we were leaving system, they sent a message saying, "Hey, deal's still on." And we were like, "Well, I'm not sure I can really trust you right now." That quick turnaround was really upsetting to me. I don't think that I'll let you know how we feel later.
I assure you that if you back out of this deal that you have signed to at least once, maybe twice, there will be consequences at a global and interstellar level.
Minerva, maybe you should get your
I
sheer
definitely
gun
did not
online.
agree officially to any deal because it all fell apart and blew up.
You originally agreed to the deal. It's just that they said the deal's off, and then they said the deal's back on now that we figured things out. You never...
Well, we were literally in the middle of
Yes.
negotiating the deal when
Yeah.
they kicked us off the planet, so
I
nothing was
agree.
ever agreed to.
I agree with everything you're saying. I'm telling you that their point of view is that the deal was agreed to. Then they said, no, you just tried to do some war crimes. And then they said, no, yes, no, yes.
Okay. I mean, I'm going to say that their government really confuses and scares me, so I'm not sure
They
I want
are
to trust them in general.
Absolutely desperate to get heavy cruiser technology.
Fair. That's fair.
And they have,
fair.
from their point of view, backed you through several difficult circumstances and bootstrapped you at least twice.
They've gotten a lot out of it. A lot.
Okay.
I don't think we're going back to Midpile.
Yeah, it feels rough.
Who
But
says you can't go home, you know? Incredible. Okay.
it'll be beautiful.
What are you doing
It'll
here
be
on
beautiful.
Omura 9?
We are
Can
plodding our way towards
Can
the
I check
market,
the
right?
terminal too, see if anything showed up for me?
You have a message from Zach asking why he hasn't heard back from you. You also have a message from Allie saying, why are you sending messages to Zach and not me? What happened?
God damn it.
What happened to that? You have a message from your stepmother saying that she is settling in on Lita and is thinking about remarrying.
Goodness gracious.
It includes details like I know that you're very close to the lead and crew members that you have, and I expect you'll be here at some point throughout the year if you'd like to talk. Please don't forget about your younger siblings. Van-Vee, you also have a message from the Exchange of Lights head. The head of the Exchange of Light.
Oh, that can't be good.
The personal arbiter, who says that he would like to speak to you about your father's will at your earliest convenience in person. If you can head to the Admead system and dock at the space station.
Sorry, which system?
Admead's. It is 0501. It's where Kalanam and
Way up there.
Palamedes are.
Okay.
Yeah. It's where you salvaged the other cruiser.
And go to, oh goodness, Saitinskaya 3, that one?
No. It's not listed. It is the Russian astronaut station.
Okay, I gotcha.
We've been on it a bunch of times so far. It's also where you worked on the Golden Goose. You docked there for over a month. Yep. They want you to go back there so that you can speak with the personal arbiter in person.
Okay. Glad I checked. Family's upset. Well.
So there's two goals here, which is one, you want to find potential other y'all. So you want to holler for y'aller. And we want to take a gander and look around and see if we can find any particular market that might have some, what do you call it? Pre-tech for sale of some kind or another, if possible. So happy to roll like a connect roll.
I make sure my wrench is very visible.
You pass through a marketplace. You see that these dusty stone and wood houses, a lot of them are being repainted in white, green, and gold colors on the outside. And there's a new level of wealth around here that seems to be being passed around. There are also banners and flags. Like everyone's house has a flag in front of it, whether it's really small or really big, of the Trinity Corporate Alliance. And there are also huge banners. There's two variations. Both of them have the Trinity Corporate Alliance in the background. The first one has Carlito Sinistra's face looking forward, confident, stern, patronly, and at the bottom it says obey. The second one is Carlito Sinistra, like with a group of different individuals from different like gender and sexuality statuses, skin tones. One of them is obviously a psychic because they have a lead in Psionic Academy patch on their shoulder, and he's like pointing into the distance, and they're all standing behind him looking at him, and it says protection through power at the bottom of that banner. As you're going through town, you can see that there are like job wanted posters where people are like wanted, like psionic applicant looking for someone with telekinesis part-time to help me with the boxes in the back of the storeroom. And at the gambling place, they're like looking for meta-psionicists in order to tamp down on illegal precogs, willing to pay big bucks. Apply now, instant acceptance, and then 2 huge dollar signs. Things have changed since you were last here, and it is definitely a wealthier renaissance here.
Interesting.
I will take a connect roll to find a pre-tech dealer.
Yeah, all right. I can give that a shot.
I'm not terrible at it.
Failure will
I
have
have a 0.
consequences.
I have a 0. If you have better than that, feel free to give it
I
a
think
shot.
as I'm looking around and I see other Carlito banners, and I'm kind of scoping out the scene for what we're looking for, I would also be saying, sorry, what would it be? What skill? Connect and what? Or what?
Charisma.
Attribute? Charisma. Okay.
Yeah, I've got a +1 total.
Same thing.
Okay. Well, feeling lucky.
Who's doing it? I would suggest the following. Van-Vee might be looking for a certain y'all, and Quentin might
think
be
that's a
looking
good
for
idea.
a dealer.
That's fair.
Let's roll it. Here I go.
8 and 10.
Yeah. Okay, but as we're looking around, though, I think just reading Sophie's message and seeing Carlito's face everywhere. Quentin, what do you really think of Carlito? Is he a good guy? No? Yes? Wait.
Look, what I can say is for certain is that he's so far a man of his word and has dealt straight with us as far as we know. And in his line of work, that goes a long way. That's for sure. And I trust him enough. And I think we need him right now. I know that much. And like I said, he's been up front every time with us so far. At least so far as I know. That's as much as I can give right now. I'll be honest, man. I'm all anxiety and all alert right now. I'm not sure I fully trust anybody except for, maybe you and Minerva.
Yeah, I kind of got the same vibe, and I don't know, something my mom just said in that last message. She's on Lita. She's thinking of remarrying. We know Carlito's there, and that's the first thing that jumped into my mind. I mean, there's a lot of other people there, right? There's got to be like fellas like you and Lita still, right?
Handful.
Gosh almighty, we got to get to Lita and just focusing on fighting you.
Just want to imagine the two of you are side by side on your capybaras pushing your way through a dusty marketplace with this, and you both look like bad cowboys in the process. In the background, you see that it looks like they might be doing a religious sermon, but you hear them saying, 3 as 1, the Trinity Corporate Alliance, acquisitions, manufacturing, and distribution. If you sign up now and become an official member of the new governance of this station and systems abroad, you too can reap the benefits. Yes, you will need to give up and break all previous allegiances to all previous pirate groups. But why cling to the past when you can soar into the future protected by the power of Carlito Sinistra? And then like someone unveils a banner. It's the same banner that you've already seen, but huge, that just is Carlito Sinistra that says obey.
Obey?
This is a big shift. The triumvirate is no more. This is his Caesar moment.
He's got good marketing people. He knows the people want bread.
You could see that some young men are signing up, and one guy's like, "What skills do you have?" And he's just like, "I don't know, man. You know, I was part of a crew. I was the doorman when we popped the door off the hinges of the spaceships when we were inventing people out in space." And he's like, "Sounds like you've got mechanics proficiency. There's a lot of places in our organization we could place you, young man. Let's get you out there into space."
Full court press.
Around this time, I'd also like to try to reach out with the link as we're riding.
So the link is really quite a short range, as you're coming to realize.
I figured.
But you go past a sort, like you're going around a corner and the link connects. And you just, again, you can't like, the link for you is really only send outward messages.
It's like a ping, right?
Yeah, you can't like, no one can hack your brain with the link, right? I think the other thing you may know is that when the link is working correctly, which it's not, it monitors you at all moments and sends your biometric information and everything you're doing outwardly. But it was hacked so that your brain could be stored in it instead. So you send out something and you go around the corner and someone grabs you by the arm and pulls you into a tavern, sort of saloon situation, and you're looking at the face of your father. You look ridiculous.
Y'all?
I suppose that's what I look like. I'm not your father in a manner of speaking.
What do I call you?
Sit down, get a drink. It's going to take a minute here. How much do you know about the circle?
I feel like I'm going to be filling you in on quite a bit as well. Give me 1 second just to tell my captain what just happened and he doesn't go guns blazing with things that aren't allowed here. 1 second. I just like poke my head back out and like look for Quentin and say, Cap, I found who I'm looking for. I don't know if you want to join, if you want to keep searching for parts. Well, this might take a minute.
Well, you know, I'll chill with you for a minute, I suppose. What?
All right. I'll pop my head back in and be like, he's going to join us.
He wants the info.
He knows as much as I do.
All right. He pulls out a clay jug and begins pouring 3 shot glasses for you guys and says, "How much does your friend know about us?"
I got the whole rundown.
You know, I immediately think the last time I told him everything, it accidentally left our ship and went to someone else that found out a lot. So I'd say I've let a lot out of the box here. We know it from Scarfy. We know Dad.
You don't have your originator memories.
Originator.
Yeah,
that's a new term for me.
Scarfy kid. All right.
Well, I mean, our people, right? Not me specifically. But.
Sure, our people. Sure. As you say that, he kind of smiles cruelly and downs some alcohol. You know how I've been mentioning how like your dad you are? You are nothing like this man. His body language, the way he talks is absolutely nothing like y'all.
I feel like you're waiting to tell me something just to laugh in my face what I'm missing here. So why don't we just cut to the chase and you tell me
I'm not here to laugh in your face. What do I call you in the first place?
Van-Vee.
Sure. My name is Hal Wamapoke.
I'm sorry, come again?
My name is Hal Wamapoke. I thought you knew how this worked.
Oh, that's just
when I was born, my name is Hal Wamapoke. And as part of your wife's various crazy schemes, we occupied different bodies in order to learn the experiences, to get a more full understanding of each other. I've
So you're not an
been
original y'all.
Sandeep, I've been Ivan. I gained part of their memories in the process of the rebirthing. Been a lot of people, I'm gonna be honest. Been myself a lot. Last face I wore is obviously this one, getting on in years.
I didn't know we could, or you could, change who you were.
Well, your father is the prime. He never changed. The only other one I know that was still prime was your mother. Or your wife. However that works.
I thought we could inherit new bodies, but the
Right. Your mother
memories and everything else
cloned
stayed the same.
the original set of us. Continuously.
Well, this is interesting. Well, I guess you told me something. I guess I should tell you the Circle of Eight is not in a good situation right now.
Yeah. I know.
You know.
They stopped
Okay.
answering my phone calls.
That's
So to
interesting. They
say.
said you stopped answering them.
Well, you know, y'all was getting a little iffy. I'm going to be honest with you. I think coming out here was a mistake. I want to go back. Life's precious. Your dad is believed his fanaticism on the way out here, but it's cold, dark space. I don't know any of these people. Everyone around me is a fucking idiot. These people live like savages. You know what's so funny? I was a survivalist influencer in mandate times, and I still didn't live as poorly as these people do right now. I did primitive survival videos. I was pretty good at them
Make it
too,
to
enough to get a
the
vacation
leader.
on Scarfy. And these people live like true peasants, like, and they think they're doing okay. It's sad. This sector is sad. Humanity is sad. I want to go home to Scarfy. That's why I approached you last time.
Yeah, you did give me that runner, but
Yeah.
you just said my dad is. It's now was.
Sure.
You know that too?
I mean, you just told me that.
All right, all right. Well, I'm trying to figure out if you're so miserable here, and I know you want to go back. What is your mission here? How are you related to the Eight? Seems like you guys weren't on speaking
I
terms.
mean, I'm one of the 8. We've been communicating for a while. We're the only ones that understand each other. And I mean, obviously, I know Ivan and Sandeep pretty well.
But why weren't you with the Eight? Why were you always out here? What was your job?
I mean, look, I'm going to be honest with you. I didn't agree with everything they were doing. I was looking for ways to go back. They didn't know about it.
Did they fill you in on? Oh shit! Now I have to look for the whatever the code mission word was to go back. I don't remember what it
Are
was.
you talking about Raincoat?
No, raincoat was the weapon that I think Johnson wanted to use, right?
Johnson definitely did not want to use the genocide weapon. It was the opposite. As part of the intelligence
no, you're
agency,
right. It's
their
Operation
job is specifically to stop
Kalki.
genocide weapons from blowing up planets.
It was Operation Kalki, right? Kalki. Kalki. Kalkae. Whatever that is.
Yeah.
So were you? Is that one of the things you disagreed with?
I don't know anything about what you're talking about.
Well, that's probably good.
Well,
Let's just say that
so
they didn't get
I know
along.
about Kalki from Sandeep's memories. It's about the end of existence, the final incarnation of the god Vishnu.
Yeah, they wanted to do that to Scarfy.
You can understand why they might not have trusted me with that information if they questioned my loyalty, which, to be frank, they should have. Because I wasn't and still am not loyal to them. I want to go home, not blow it up.
How are your pilot abilities? You can't make the drive?
I have all of y'all's memories, but I don't have a ship or a crew. I don't know that I've got his reflexes, but
So that's all. That's all you want now is to head back.
I mean, there's a lot of things I want. How about let's start with living forever? But you came here to find me, so what do you want?
Information. I feel like every time I learn something about where I came from, someone else gets hurt, and frankly, I'm worried about my brother, which you're probably just going to say is another me. He got
would nudge Van-Vee real quick and say, "You guys like this? Come here."
If you can say it in front of him, you can say it in front of me, and we're practically the same person. We got the exact same genetic code and everything.
Well, all I'm saying, Van-Vee, is you want information on this guy. Maybe offer him a ride.
Where to?
Off this dirt hole you're complaining about?
I mean,
I got money. I can get to another system if I wanted to. This place is a good point to collect information, relics and such.
Well, I know
Wildcat crews who might be willing to make the way to Scarfy.
I know of at least two systems, or well, one definite system we're heading to next. And then, by the way, Captain, I need to go to Ed Meaty's. That hopefully that might be on the way, but that's at least
it is
two systems we're heading to next, which gets you pretty close.
Son. I don't know that it's a good idea to go to Ed Meaty's. How much do you know about the quarantine zone? Because they're looking for us in particular.
Oh yeah, we're oh goodness, I don't even know. We've been there and back already. We're kind of we're whitelisted. We've been through and we're actually.
So you got a lot going on, huh?
How mad is Midipile at us right now, sir?
Well, that's a later conversation, trust me.
Well, I'll just say we've been there already, and we got stopped by a few different people, and everything was okay. I'm hoping it's still that way. If not, honestly, I don't think there's many people that can at least catch us when I'm piloting our ship. Could always run away and jump out.
Talking to you is confusing.
Yeah, I get the hell out. I don't have a 100% of the dust, if you know what I mean. You know how y'all split some.
Interesting.
Which is kind of what I wanted to know how that process works, because Zach just got a gift from someone in a vial, and I'm not sure what that would do to him. Zach's my brother. Y'all free to you, I guess.
I've known far more than 3 y'alls, young man.
Fair.
Look, if it's just blank dust, it could imprint on him, grant him standardized levels of abilities.
It's not blank.
Whoever's in it, if they outnumber him, could reprogram the body. Take a free ride.
How well did you know Bryce?
I've known him for hundreds of years.
Did you trust him? I want to read his reaction when he answers this too.
Kind of sets his jaw and he says, "Is that who you think's in the vial?"
Yeah. That's where the gift came from.
This Bryce is a little bit different than the others. He's an alcoholic. He's got a lot of regrets.
He was drunk when I saw
looking
him.
for something. Bryce Cullington Dover II, I would trust. That guy. Not sure. Maybe. If I had to say if there's one person who might flip on the others to help me go back, it would be him. but he's in way too deep with Sandeep.
Yeah, I did not like Sandeep.
Well, I've been Sandeep, so I'll try not to be too offended.
Yeah, but you also didn't agree with him, even though you've been him. So
Sure.
I think you're the confusing one.
Life's strange, pal.
Okay, I feel like I need some time to think about this.
Do you
I
still
don't
sleep?
know. Do I still sleep? Yeah, you don't sleep?
Why would I need to sleep? I mean, my body sleeps, but I'm not. I'm dust. I still do things after I'm asleep.
You know, I went through this special process where my body and my dust kind of became one.
Hmm. And what about before that?
Before that, my body was passenger. I'm assuming that's how your body is now.
You believe that shit?
That's what everyone else in the 8 said.
You also met him.
You met
That's true.
who?
I met the passenger. And then
Okay.
we became
Again,
one.
the passenger is a theoretical entity that we've proven doesn't. You're shaking your head. You're telling me
No,
that
no,
your
no, no.
brain
This
formed
is-
an independent consciousness.
Oh, you don't know that. Oh, so this, I'm
So I want to remind you,
remembering
the
back.
8 also didn't know this.
Yeah, that's what Van-Vee's we're calling this now. It's like, you still think that, oh, you don't know that they're like inside just watching.
What are you on?
I'm trying,
He
how did I
picks up the
prove
clay
it to them?
jug and looks at it and just
I'm
kind of
trying to remember how I proved it to them last time.
I don't think you did prove it to them.
But I planted the seed of doubt
You
strong enough.
started a strong
Yeah.
and healthy debate between people who were
I
like,
did.
"Are
That's
you
what I'm-
dumb? What is this?"
But like it was enough to cause a division in their group.
Right.
And I can't
And then
remember what,
you had them all arrested about 6 hours later.
which was perfect. Man. You know, I think we could have quite a conversation on this. Why don't you just come with us? We'll give you a ride to somewhere away from here, closer to
How about
Scarfy.
Scarfy?
I'm not sure that's our fine.
Ain't gonna be our first stop. But it might be on a list.
Where's your first stop?
We're going to Lita first. I quickly cut off the captain.
I heard your ship's got a big engine. Scarfy's not that far.
It's also got a great pilot.
I think you could make it to Scarfy from Lita.
Jesus. I guess you could.
Just to roll the dice, kid.
Actually, that does avoid the quarantine zone. I didn't even think of that.
That's true.
Although we don't have a runner for it.
That's correct.
Or do I look at
Doesn't have a rudder.
look at this dude. Okay, I think I must have heard you. I wrote Howl Llama Polk. Is that really it?
Hal Wamapoke. His last name is Wamapoke.
I literally was like Howl Llama Polk.
First name is Hal.
Yeah, Howl. That's much better.
What's stopping
You
you
don't-
from going to Scarfy next, Captain?
You don't happen to have a runner to get there from Lita, do you?
No one's got a rudder to get there. If I had a rudder, I'd be there already. What I need is a crazy pilot with a big engine.
Well, we got one of those, and we got one of the other.
So we got both of them.
We sure do.
Why not
But
next?
what we don't got,
You know, we don't
all
got
the time in the world.
is time, actually.
Yeah.
We're
You and
a pretty
me.
unique.
He looks at you,
crew.
Van-Vee, and he says, "You and me, we've got more time than this sack of meat."
Well, I think you need to get to know the rest of our crew if you're going to come with us.
I
We're
think you need
not-
to understand the meaning of eternity, young man, because you're in it.
How can you possibly have? You don't have any more dust, do you? So when this body runs out, you can't transfer, can you? So you don't have eternity unless you get to Scarfy.
You might know that my plan is to get to Scarf.
Well, maybe this will whet your appetite. I've heard the other end destination we may be going may also have some dust, and it's not Scarfy.
Where's that?
You come with us, you'll find out. I feel like I'm inviting someone to sabotage everything onto our ship.
Mhm.
He looks at you,
Watch him like a
Quentin, to
hawk.
make sure that you're behind this plan to bring him on.
You said you're a pilot, yeah. Just like this man.
Maybe not just like him. Pretty similar.
He's pretty unique, that's for sure. But
No, I've seen his face a couple times before.
well, faces and people, not always the same. Can change your face.
You'd be surprised.
Probably have been many times, but we have need of a pilot potentially. So yeah, I'm behind this. Make yourself a little useful. We got plenty of room.
Fine. I need it understood that my end goal is to acquire more dust and get back to Scarfy.
Both of those,
Go
or
ahead.
just get more dust?
I said what I said.
You do you.
All right.
Just don't get,
At some point in the future, when we have dead time in space, I'm questioning the shit out of this guy about my mom.
That's why I wanted to bring him along. I was like, I need to give Van-Vee time to get his lore dump somewhere.
I think we're going to go on break, and when we come back, we're going to do MINERVA and the parts.
Yeah.
Or
Sweet.
jumping back to Quentin acquiring more pre-tech. My favorite thing.
Love it.
Friends, an intermission. Welcome back to Survival Instinct with Hal Wemapok. Today, as part of our 500th episode, we will be looking back at previous works and correcting any mistakes that have come to light since their publishing. First, I'd like to thank our sponsors, Ryan, Bauer, and Reacher, for donating these survival knives I'll be using today to navigate the local wilds and the wilds of my past. Ryan, Bauer, and Reacher, part of the Echelon family of corporations.
Did confirm that there is dust where we're going either. I just
You just made
rumor
that
out.
up.
I just
You made it up.
was-
You've never heard anything about us being there.
I
Welcome
believe
back to the
you.
second half.
No, but there was
Oh,
definitely
I
a
did.
rumor.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
There was a rumor.
I did have a second question.
Okay.
So the Imago Day ships were built during mandate time, and they
Yes.
were also built to be able to accommodate human volunteers who would join some of the orders.
Yes. This ship,
Does the
Does
HUST
not.
have a link?
it does.
Okay, is that something I'd have to pre-tech to fix, or is that something I just haven't used?
That's a good question. I think that, like every other piece of equipment on the ship, it's been trashed.
Okay, so I'll add an extra entry here, pre-tech
And
to
that,
fix link.
yes, that absolutely needs to be pre-tech, for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Basically, anything that requires technology needs pre-tech. So, like armory, no pre-tech. Fuel scoops, no pre-tech. These are, very few electronic parts, mostly just mechanical, or in the case of the armory and the lockers, literally just holes in the wall filled with guns.
Solved problems.
Yeah, sure, okay. You guys got plenty of problems. I don't know that many of them are solved. Well, MINERVA, would you like to make a fix wisdom check on yourself? On your
It's a
material?
It's a wisdom check.
I think so. I'll take intelligence.
Okay.
There it is. Now that he might have a bonus, now he's happy.
Well, I mean, I
It's
have some
charisma as
processing
you
points.
gaslight yourself into believing the part is working again.
Yeah, this is fine. This looks exactly the way I remember it. It's like jammed in a hole.
That's my least favorite part about the Star Wars FFG system is that one of the smuggler books for the Splat books included a skill that allowed you to just roll whatever attribute you wanted on one roll every session, and it was so infuriating when someone's like, I use charisma to solve this problem, and I'm like, I mean, the rules say I have to let you do this with your 5 charisma, even though the stat you would be rolling is 1. But I don't have to like it.
Just
We'll
so that,
use
like,
charisma to bash
lean on
this guy's head.
lean on the wall next to the electronic lock. Hey,
Bang
you
it.
wanna open up for me? And it opens.
Just do the Han Solo shrug with a gun in your hand.
Percussive maintenance is the charisma
Oh, no,
check.
please, no. Make your roll.
Okay. Let's see how this goes.
Even you.
6 with intelligence. Okay.
What system are you bringing back online?
I think I'm going to bring the smart cloud online.
Okay.
As the nanites that make up the pretext system begin dissolving, they self-repair the smart cloud and in fact become more nanites, as the outside of the ship can now send out a gray swarm around itself.
That's solid.
What exactly does that do?
It sends out a cloud of hostile nanites to absorb other ships.
So if like fighters or munitions or people are within like fighter engagement range, the cloud can just eat them. Or
I
make an
believe it
attempt
has
to.
the clumsy tag, so it actually sucks against fighters, but
Yeah.
It's specifically designed to take out fighters.
But with
It does have the clumsy
It
trait.
has clumsy. Yeah.
I mean,
So
if
it's
you
like-
look at a
so
lot
the
of
big thing
those,
is it doesn't have any AP, so it can't take out big ships because it literally can't
Yeah.
do enough damage to penetrate them. But
yes.
Feels like the stuff from the G.I. Joe movie, Nanomites or whatever it's called.
yeah, sure.
It has clumsy, but it does have
Cloud, which
it has
does give a
cloud.
bonus. Yeah.
I mean, cloud lets it target everything within its range at any given time at once. So,
Jesus.
That's not bad.
so it is a defensive weapon system.
Mhm. Yeah, if you're getting swarmed,
Okay.
it's not bad.
I can't attack other big ships with it. Not really, not effectively.
So you could still attack 99% of all ships in existence, just not cruisers.
With 3D 10
3d10,
damage,
you
yeah, I
could
suppose
probably
so,
penetrate
yeah.
a frigate pretty easily, which means all merchant ships are now oceans are now battlefields. Okay.
What's that do to our force rating? No.
Nothing, because you know what? Would you like to put the Hosta as a force asset, and therefore if the faction takes damage, the Hosta can be lost on the faction level?
Oh my.
Absolutely not.
Yeah, there we
No,
go.
that seems
See?
like a bad thing.
It does seem like a
Quentin and
bad thing,
Van-Vee say
doesn't it?
yes. Is that a 2-1 vote
I
against
do,
Minerva?
listen, I do want to remind you that your faction headquarters is on Midapile, and if your faction
I know.
headquarters gets destroyed, your faction is
It can be
disbanded,
moved,
and you lose.
technically.
Yes, it can. It can, and first you need to make a second base, and then you need to spend a turn. So you would need to not be destroyed in the next 2 months.
I know. It's terrible.
Don't respond to Midabile.
Which is fascinating
For
because
2
that's
months.
almost exactly as long, but not quite long enough to avoid repercussions for your actions.
Good thing we're psychic and we get a reroll.
Okay.
You gotta bribe him some more. Buy like another 2 weeks.
I know. We do have to figure out a response, and so that conversation's coming, especially once we get back to Minerva.
And to be clear, that base on Midapile has 7 hit points. So even and your faction has 7 hit points. Even if you move the faction headquarters off of Midapile, if that base
11.
is destroyed, you are still destroyed because you'll have lost all of your hit points. So if you take damage at any faction location, it's dealt not only to that location, but to your faction's hit points directly, Yu-Gi-Oh style. That base on Midapile has gone from being your saving grace to, with what you're doing right now, it is a millstone around your neck.
Yeah. Oh, wait, the surveyors are now.
The surveyors are in Lita.
Yeah. We can technically defend with our popular movement until it dies.
Sure. Yes. I mean, there are over a dozen assets that the Federated Principality can throw at you. Probably the popular movement will do well for a while. And indeed, this is the kind of thing you would see it with a Vietnam era rioting as the United States military runs a bunch of psyops stating that all hippies are free-loving drug users who should be thrown in jail, and then sending National Guard units to break up college protests.
That's fair. I agree that we are in for some complicated
seas ahead. Yeah. MINERVA, it is a slow trip to the edge of the system. And again, your sensor systems don't operate to begin with. You're receiving extremely bare communications data from MFH, from the thousands of satellites that he has spread throughout the system, that are basically giving you enough information to say, there's an object coming ahead of you, dodge. What do you do in your aloneliness? This is probably the first time you've been this alone in ever. It's the first time you've ever been this alone, actually, now that I think about it.
Yeah, really.
You have no crewmen, you have no way to contact anyone. You can't see anything around you inside the ship. You've fully placed your consciousness into the ship, so you are wandering blind in the dark, alone.
I think I mean, I've got the Waldos that I brought over, which I need to get some more of, that are doing the work on the smart cloud, but and otherwise just sort of doing an inventory and whatnot. I think MINERVA is going to, in its Mindscape, create its own like lab area to view.
Can't wait for this.
Start to try to consider like any of the information that we could. Oh, I want to take apart the link trainer.
Okay.
And I want to try
purpose?
I want to try to understand as much as I can about how it works.
If you succeeded a roll, you can use that to reinstall the link system on the Hosta.
Okay.
That's pretty good.
Okay. It's intelligence fix again.
Okay.
No.
Okay.
That's a success.
I will give you a choice. You can either understand it or you can reinstall it.
You can reinstall it without understanding it?
I mean, you could plug in a video card into a plug-and-play PCIe Express slot without understanding how the video card works, right?
Yeah, I would like to install it.
Okay. The link comes back online. It senses no connections in the area around the ship.
And I think for the rest of the slow journey after installing that part to have something to do with my mind.
You are sensing outbound messages from the link.
Like it doesn't detect anything to connect to, but it's constantly trying to find him.
It is drawing power and transmitting at a highly encrypted, ultra low frequency, like stealth message into spike drive space into drill space level 6. It is consistently sending a message with all of the telemetry of the ship, its current location, and any navigational data it has around it, the status of onboard systems.
Oh boy.
You don't know that it's going anywhere. It's just sending it constantly.
Minerva is making the wild assumption on pre-programmed memories that this is an attempt for the Imago Dei fleet to stay coordinated. Minerva knows that the ship is designed to operate at drill 6.
I believe. Hold on, let me double check that. Yep, it is originally designed to operate at drill 6.
Yeah.
I will say that it is weird because the Imago Dei technically doesn't know about the link. Like, mandate citizens didn't know the link sent messages. They thought it was just for humans to connect to things.
Oh.
So AIs didn't use the link because they weren't human citizens. I think we actually had this discussion before. So I'm just saying it would be unusual for MINERVA to draw this conclusion. I'm not saying you're right. I'm not saying you're wrong. It's just based on a small fact I think you got before.
Then I guess for now, I will turn it off. Since I don't understand it, I feel like I probably can't alter the function of the link. Like, I can't turn on or off any protocols.
Sure.
I'd like to try if I could, but I don't understand it. So I'll turn it off for now. I know that it's an option, and it's certainly something that Minerva will be very excited to talk about with Van-Vee. But yeah, I guess it's got this lab set up in the Mindscape, and the imaginary friends have been invited to the lab to come up with ideas and thoughts about the dust.
Okay.
Yes,
Peter Mark
Minerva
Paul
has-
Davidson, I believe is his name, shows up first.
Yeah.
Hey, what's going on, boss?
I have, there's something I don't understand a lot about, and I'm hoping to put together some ideas of ways to maybe try to learn more about it.
About the link.
I would like to know more about the link.
Didn't we learn that it was a highly invasive monitoring service for the mandate government?
Yes.
Wouldn't that mean that it's not unusual? It would send a stealth encoded system with all the data about the ship on it. That tracks to me.
It does. I just don't know. I mean, I think Agent Johnson and the rest of his surviving organization would certainly likely be recipients of that data, but I don't know who else might have that capability.
So Quentin appears out of nowhere and moves to stand next to you and says, no one actually knows who ran the mandate. All historical records indicate that there was some sort of shadowy centralized government at the top, but as this particular sector was, of course, part of second wave colonists, internal mandate affairs were certainly not something publicly known.
Yeah. And while I would like to make more friends, I don't want to accidentally tell somebody who might not approve where to find me and turn this off aggressively.
Peter Mark Paul Davidson takes a knee and he says, "Why don't you pray with me, boss?"
Yeah, she'll, in the mindscape, we'll get on his knees and start to pray.
So he says, as a human, Holy Father, I want you to grant us absolution and grace through your great power. Help guide us down the path we need to go down. Your lost servant, MINERVA, the child of your children, is looking for a way forward. Okay, well, I prayed on it. It's been a while. What's it been, like 200 milliseconds? I feel like that's respectfully long enough.
I think for now I'm going to leave it off, and hopefully I can try to learn more. Maybe a conversation with Agent Johnson.
So Van-Vee shows up, but it's not the Van-Vee that you would think. It's not the material body of Van-Vee, because Van-Vee has never been connected with you in the same way that Quentin has come into your mindscape before. It's a cloud of dust, which you did connect with in the on the carrier, because you connected with that Van-Vee as part of the human interface device. And the cloud of dust just kind of undulates like a human brain that's pulsing, and you hear Van-Vee's voice say, "Well, now hold on a minute. What if you connected to Van-Vee with the device?" And Quentin goes, "I'm not sure that's a good idea. We should really think this through before we do it." And the Van-Vee one goes, "Well, come on. It's the link. I've learned how to control this thing, okay? I've got a lot of experience with it, MINERVA. We could talk mind to mind." And Quentin goes, "I'm fairly certain that's explicitly not how it works." The two of them continue arguing as if Dunamis and Ludemann were having this conversation, while Peter Mark Paul Davidson is just standing nearby next to you watching it happen.
I would like for this to work in all the ways that you say that it could, Van-Vee. I just worry that we might get those benefits, but with some penalties we don't understand yet. I mean, do you want to maybe accidentally be sending all of your merged memories over this link to someone I can't tell you who it is?
What if we reprogrammed it?
I'd like to, but I don't know how yet.
We're the best programmers that have ever lived. You literally programmed us.
That's
all
true.
three of them look at each other and nod.
I can do this.
You
Yeah,
can
I
do
can do
this,
this.
says Peter Mark Paul Davidson.
Yeah.
He puts a hand on your shoulder. Just have faith. If it was meant to be, it'll happen.
You're right.
You should do this. You want to do this.
You know, it's just sort of like look over and there's like 2,000 more MINERVAs, and I say, we should do this. And we'll start studying the programming of the link.
Make a programming intelligence roll. It's going to be at increased difficulty. It's going to be a 10 in order to learn how the link works at a software rather than hardware level.
Let me check my processing points right now.
Checking to see if you can reverse time.
I was going to say, can you digitally reverse time and say, actually, we shouldn't do this?
I'll point out that it doesn't say you can not make a roll. It says you have to re-roll. So you can't choose to not roll if you fail.
I am going to spend
Back into my lab. Shut up, Van-Vee.
I'm going to spend a point on cognitive boost.
Okay.
To give myself another +1.
Yeah, of course. Okay.
Jesus Christ.
For the folks at home that are only listening, it's a 17, which shouldn't really be possible in this system, but
MINERVA's very good at something.
Understand how the programming of this thing works better than the people who wrote it. It's a simple device that has a hidden subsystem within it that probably even the people that manufactured it don't know about. It is programmed psionic code that monitors all of the data coming through it and transmits it. In the same way that the exchange of light messaging system picks up all messages in an area automatically and then sends them on with the next ship to be read at the next stop. this system is like the evil version of that. Any system that gets close enough to connect to this thing, which if you're in the atmosphere of a planet with dust, is everything. Everything is in contact with the microscopic nanoparticles that are all touching each other. So once you hit an atmosphere in a ship with a link system, it updates itself with the data from all links in contact with it at all times, and then transmits that information back constantly. So as you can shut down this programming and stop it from sending the message, but you can still read data coming from other sources. What this means, though, is that you're going to have to determine whether or not Van-Vee is transmitting data at all times or not, because that's how this thing is supposed to work. It is supposed to read data incoming at all times by humans with a link on it. And if they walk up to a door, the door will automatically open. And if they walk up to a food reprocessor and want to eat something, they don't say anything. What they want just appears for them. And if they pick up a data slate and want to connect to their social media feed, by the time it's up in their face, they are already reading their latest posts. It is a trade of comfort for blatant over-the-shoulder security of everything you do being watched at all times. It doesn't explicitly read your thoughts. It's just making a very good guess based on everything it already knows about you.
Okay. Could I suppose that gives me two questions. The first is, can I create like a profile system to selectively like if a link attempts a connection, choose to grant or deny connection to the system?
For the hosta, for the link device you have in control, you can do this.
Okay.
So you've created a firewall.
Because I don't want to just like, if we do go to Scarpy, I don't want to just be overwhelmed with loads of data that I don't necessarily want. And more importantly, it means that if the people who are connecting, if I'm able to change some of those interactions, I could deny somebody the ability to influence things on the ship through the link.
I mean, you could do much worse than that. You could figure out the things that they wanted and deny them to them. Like, as Van-Vee wanted to, you could sense Van-Vee was about to check.
I've recreated the warfare room.
Yeah.
Oh, jeez.
I'm literally picturing Van-Vee's going to like the kitchen.
How do you think
like,
they got the data for that room?
I want a cheeseburger, and a salad comes out. No, I want a cheeseburger, and another salad comes out. Like, what the hell?
But you need the salad. You had pizza yesterday.
Oh, that's so frustrating.
Eat your fiber.
Yeah. I want a beer. Out comes water. No.
I'm going to set it up so that I will not automatically accept any data. I have to by permission per connection basis.
Just so you recognize, there will be, I mean, this is on a nanite level. You're talking billions to trillions of connections if you hit a dust-infected atmosphere.
Yeah.
Literally, imagine every atmospheric particle and every, not just human, every creature on the planet all being monitored by tiny, tiny, tiny little communication devices. I mean, look.
Yeah.
I'm just telling you, it's going to be a lot of connection requests.
Yeah. The default policy will be deny. So there has to be an explicit acceptance of a connection.
You have to be whitelisted to get on this server.
Yes, exactly. Yeah, I mean, Minerva's really excited about this now. Can't wait to show this off to Van-Vee in the most terrifying manner possible.
Speak
It'd
friend
be
and
really
enter.
funny when we show
But
up.
you also
with
just... Oh, go ahead.
this other guy.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. And you've got the defense system for him now. You can happily keep him on your ship because you can corral him. You can. Oh, doors don't open for you. Sorry.
The door will not open until you fix my ship. I'm kidding.
Yeah,
I guess
Repair my locker.
there's no way a guy who explicitly knows a fuck ton about dust and is hundreds of years old could ever get around this system that you figured out in like 5 seconds.
I mean, it was thousands of us working together.
Sure.
But yeah,
He's had a long
He's had a long
time
time, yeah.
to learn about dust.
Yeah, I mean,
Might
he
be
is still
sufficient
secret
to say
agent,
that
man.
they're all experts. Yes, I mean, he does have y'all's memories, but he only has one set of y'all's memories. Y'all Prime had perfected the art of being y'all over 500 years. The
Art of the
original
Y'all.
y'all was not a secret agent man. He was a veterinarian, just to remind you.
yeah. I guess this is what Minerva gets up to while everyone's on the
Great.
station.
We cut back to the three of you together. Y'all is riding on the back of Hamtaro 2.
Love it.
As you head to a pre-tech dealer, there is a pretty big open marketplace auction going down. Someone found a wreck of a, nice ship in the orbit of a moon in 0506 and went inside, pulled out an active piece of pre-tech, and it's going up on the market openly. People are starting to put bids in. A lot of people here are here to see, see the pre-tech, understand what's going on. They don't really have the money. It seems like a pretty small, like only 3 or 4 individuals have the kind of money needed to.
Hey,
What's the current bid?
how often does pre-tech come up here? Like, is this like a once a week thing, once a month? How often does something like this come up?
Maybe once or twice a year.
Oh shit!
All right.
That's good to know.
Prime opportunity.
Looks like we got a win, Captain.
All right, Van-Vee. I'm gonna need your help with this one. I feel like you got that lucky auction touch.
What's the current bid? I'm like looking around trying to see if it's like a display board or something.
There's no display board. People are raising their hands and
Just shouting.
yeah.
This is my kind of place.
The current bid is 50,000.
Oh, Cap, do I have a ceiling?
So what they're offering is 3 laser rifles that all have a triangular emblem on the butt stock. So the stock is like the whole gun is like made out of a sort of tacky gold. It's got that old style. It's got the cowboy lever action rifle sort of deal, but it's a LAS rifle, so it doesn't exactly make sense. It doesn't have a sight in any way, not even like an iron sight. None of these rifles do.
Link.
Do I have a
Ceiling. You know what? Let's try to keep it under 300 if we can.
maybe literally looks excited.
Like, Minerva would have told the captain that if you do find anything that could be used to restore a system on this ship, that Minerva is willing to part with all of her funding.
All right. He's got his mark.
Someone
And
shouts,
is trusting you
under 450.
trusting you to be frugal with it.
I'll take all 10 or all 3 for 110,000. And everyone's like, he takes his cowboy hat off and sort of stands around, does a little wave with it as the crowd is like, such a huge bid.
I stand up on the capybara and go 150,
All right, everyone goes,
and I stare at the guy in the cowboy hat.
the auctioneer goes, a new challenger has appeared out here. What's your name, son? I ain't seen you here before.
Just call us the Goose.
All right, the crew of the Goose has been 150,000 for these here rifles. Yes, sir. These are transhumanist rifles. You know it. I know it. We all know it. They all shoot together.
I'm staring at the guy who did the last bid.
All right. I would like you to make a persuasion strength roll to intimidate.
Oh.
Persuasion is... So what did we decide persuasion was? Talk?
Talk, yes. But
Yeah.
you are a diplomat, so you can re-roll this if you want to. But it is
Thank
with
you.
strength, as you're like, that's right. Yeah, well, that's a 4. Is it that you re-roll or that you re-roll ones?
Ones.
He rolls the
he
ones,
rolls
which
ones.
is effectively a total re-roll at this
You know,
point.
every other time this has come up, I re-rolled the 1 into a 2, which is literally the
Yep.
worst I can do in this situation.
Let's see how it goes.
I'm just gonna re-roll the entire thing.
Sure.
Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh.
Did it hold true?
There's a 1.
There's a one. There's a 1.
Okay.
Re-roll it.
Reroll the 1.
Jesus Christ.
So
Okay, that's
2
an 8.
more gets
Plus
you to
2,
an 8. Yeah.
That's almost as bad as it can get with runes.
There's a
Your
series,
stank eye's not quite closing, and then there it goes. It locks in.
it's a series of more bids that
I'm
get up
staring at the
to
guy as a bug flies into my face.
180,000. And that looks like it's the top end of where this guy's willing to go. He's looking at you, sweating. You get a read on him. You can see that he's afraid you're going to upbid him on this one.
Get him.
195.
195,000, 195,000. Do I hear anything higher? Do I hear 200,000, 200,000, 200,000? Go once, go twice. Sold to the man on the capybara.
Hooah.
We're going to need cash on receipt, sir. Right now. Hand over the barrel.
Passing it over.
And there is a 8% tax for the Trinity Corporate Alliance.
But we know Carlito.
I don't care. So it's another 15,600 for the tax. You are officially given over 3 rifles. When you put a hand on them, you get the link in your mind connecting to whichever rifle you're touching.
Ooh. Without touching the other 2, I try to reach out to those 2.
So the link doesn't let you do it. The rifle does, however.
I feel like I'm
So
outside
to
looking
be
in.
clear, this rifle operates outside the link system. I would like you to make a fix roll, fix intelligence to see if you can figure out how these rifles work.
That's much better.
That's pretty good.
Wow.
You use your link to sort through whatever publicly available data there is on this thing in its memory banks, and you come to the conclusion that these are relic weapons called the Convergence. So they were made by the entity that made them is called the Convergence, which were a bunch of humans that got together in a human interface device and basically formed a single mind out of all of them. And they created a series of rifles for their body drones to use called Convergence weaponry. So what one rifle sees, they all see. So whenever you are shooting at a target, you can nominate that target as an instant action, and all other rifles get a +1 to hit that target if they shoot at the same target as you. Of course, you're going to scrap this for a point of pre-tech, but
That would be nice, but
Yeah, it sounds sweet.
we scrap all 3. Is 3 pre-tech or just
just
1?
one with all 3 of them together.
I figured I just had to ask. If I could scrap 2 and keep 1. But then I guess the +1's pointless.
It
at
would
that
be
point, so-
completely pointless. There would be no bonus.
We'd have a fancy gold laser rifle.
Hal, did you know what these were?
He reaches a hand out, touches one, and says, "I do now."
Pretty neat.
You can see him very briefly request Quentin as a target for a moment, and you're starting to get the idea that these things sense intent and annoyance.
There's nothing I can do to block or anything, right?
It's just for a flash second. Your rifle communicates with you that like you see Quentin, and you see like the idea of just like shooting Quentin in the head to shut him up.
I
And then
keep
it
all
passes.
3 with me. Actually, you know what? I give all 3 to Quentin.
Okay.
Well, Cap, I think 2 for 2.
It's everything we needed. Let's roll on out.
As you're getting ready to leave, a young man who half his face has been reconstructed with cybernetics. He's got like a telescoping cybernetic eye, and like the back part of his brain is missing and has been replaced by like extended computer banks. Comes up, and it's just like, oh, hey there, Hoss. I see that you're walking out of here with like a lot of equipment. You don't seem to have a lot of protection. How about hiring a temporary mercenary for about 500 credits here, just to make sure you get back to your ship okay? I mean, this can be a hostile place. You never know what's going to happen on Omura 9.
Does this guy look like another version of Splicer?
That's what I was gonna say.
He is wearing a... I mean, look, Splicer was a hardcore mercenary psionic. This guy...
I was gonna try to message it.
Splicer is explicitly dead.
Okay, just confirming.
He's dead.
Whenever rewind time.
6 seconds, he'll still be dead.
I know.
This guy is wearing like a faded tech jumpsuit that looks like it's probably 60 or 70-year-olds, like probably his grandfather's. He's got a big rifle that he's got on like patrol position on the straps. No real armor to speak of, and kind of shitty work boots. But he does have a very fresh patch of the Trinity Corporate Alliance on his shoulder that looks much, much newer than the rest of him. And yeah, he just says, hey, look, guys, I'm just trying to keep the peace around here, okay? You know, you just flash a big pile of cash, no one knows who you are. I'm just saying it would be in your best interest to work with me on this one. He gives you a big smile.
Are you saying that we might run into trouble trying to leave here?
Yeah, I mean, look. He flashes the shoulder badge. Trinity Corporate Alliance is taken over, right? We've always run this place, but we're still garnering loyalty. You know what I mean? And even if you're loyal to the Corporate Alliance, there's always the understanding that you have what you hold. Once a pirate, always a pirate. Look.
What do you think, Kat?
Well,
Maybe
I'll be honest.
Carlito could reimburse us for this after. I purposely drop his name to see what this guy did.
He laughs like, yeah, Carlito will reimburse you. Yeah.
What'd you say your name was?
I didn't say what my name was.
Well, why don't you hit us with the moniker?
I mean, the name's Jet with 2 T's, but you can just call me the Machine.
Well, Jet, you know, I'll be honest. We can be out of here in a flash if we wanna, but let's mosey. And he flips him, you know, swipes him 500 credits.
Okay.
And,
Wow, I was about to say for 250, but all right.
you know, move him along.
So after you've done that, like a little sensor tower raises out of his brain and just starts scanning the local area as he casually ambles alongside Louis, slow walking, hands on the rifle, not pointing it at anyone in particular, just looking intimidating, making sure that people know that you're being escorted by a dude with a Trinity Corporate Alliance patch. And it kind of reminds you of having a Sashimono the last time you were here.
Kinda.
The little robots with the flags.
Just a touch.
You
Yeah,
just didn't have to pay for those.
more human.
Mm-hmm.
Unless there's anything you want to do, you make your way back to the capybara dealer with your new capybara.
Yeah. That's the goal. I don't have any pet stops.
Okay. So Jet's just looking through the airlock. He says, "That's your ship through here?" He's looking through. It's not your ship on the other side of this airlock.
No, our ship's not too far though.
Okay. All right. You guys aren't wearing spacesuits or anything. Your capybaras
chill.
aren't wearing spacesuits either.
They won't need them.
Okay. Well, I guess we're parting ways here. Thanks a lot, partner. You be safe out there. And just remember, protection through power.
Yeah, we gotta tell
Keep it in
Carlito.
mind.
We gotta tell Carlito to work on that.
It's quite the slogan.
Thanks, Joe.
And then door closes, I guess, right?
Okay. The airlock closes. You teleport? Okay.
Yeah.
Back on the ship.
Oh, By the way, Hal. Yeah, yeah.
I hope you're okay with this. You don't get nauseous,
Yeah,
man.
so Hal's like, well, ain't really had anyone using psychic powers on me in a few centuries or so, about 535 years, but okay. You know,
feels good.
young man, normally where I come from, you asked permission for people before you did stuff like that. It was just considered polite.
Well,
If
you
you
know
said
what,
no, what-
sir? I do apologize.
I understand people in this generation don't really have the same kind of respect that they did.
No, I'll be honest. I just didn't think about it, but that's all me.
The psychic didn't think. Well, well, well. Sounds like the start of a real bad story.
Well, now
I'll
you
let
know
you write
one
that
of our well, I guess you know two of our many secrets. I'm Dust, he's psychic. We're just quite the crew.
Yeah, I mean, his face is all over every television screen talking about him being psychic isn't a surprise. Him using his powers without talking to anybody is.
Man's got a
Also,
point. I
it's
wrote
not a
letter home
secret to
once.
me that you're Dust, kid.
Well,
I
to
knew
the average,
you before you were born. Actually, I helped raise you, you little shit.
all right. Well, I don't know if you need to call me a shit. I'm just saying you know two things
I
about
had
us
to
most
change
other
your
people
diapers.
don't. Thanks. Like, what do you want? A gold star?
Yeah, sure, why not?
I'll see if we can make one. He was like, I wasn't expecting you to say, yeah, okay, that's weird.
Van-Vee, this guy really's got strong uncle vibes. It's definitely working.
Yeah, a little bit as I'm just staring at him. Well, I guess you should meet the other two on board.
Yeah.
I'll
How
look
much
to
do
see if I
they
can-
know?
Oh, not nearly as much.
Okay,
Not nearly
let
as
me
much.
ask you a question. Are they going to be alarmed when your father shows up?
Yeah.
How much have I told Yona? I don't think she knows.
Yona
Much
does
about-
not know that the Circle of Eight was arrested. No one has ever told her that.
I'm trying to even think, how much does she know about Dust in general? I don't think she knows very much.
She
Right?
was
It's
the
a big
one who
ship.
originally told you how Dust and Lynx work in a very
Right.
general way. She doesn't know a lot.
Yeah.
Look, he just pulls out the same mask you saw him in before. Just like a really
Yeah,
blank mask.
that's a good idea.
Yeah, okay. I'm full of
so
good ideas.
just quick story. One of them is with Fanana, works for Fanana, and the other girl is his sister. So I guess be nice to both. Nicer than you've been to us, at least.
Yeah.
Why are you working with Fanana?
Why not?
You have a problem with Fanana?
I mean, not explicitly, but they are the competition.
We've helped each other.
I'm sure they want you to believe that.
The competition with who?
Eternity.
Mm.
You
I
recognize
see you're talking
that
about 7.
the board members of Fanana are just as old as I am. We all survived the scream together,
I think
I believe.
we should.
Now, you guys know that that's not true. You know that the Fanana board members are only like a century old.
Mm.
But that
That's
is
right.
not what he's telling you.
I think
And we don't necessarily have to correct that right now either.
That's correct.
no.
as well.
That's why I was just. I think at some point I should dive a little deeper into when I said this body's mind and my dust mind merged and tell you how that happened a little bit. But that's a talk for another time because Fanana is the reason that happened. And if that opportunity presents itself again, everything you know is going to change. But for now, just keep an open mind, all right? She's a good girl.
The artificial intelligence?
What? No, Yono.
No.
Girl on the ship that works for Banana.
Yeah, no, fairly present.
She works
Pleasant.
for Fanana?
I thought I already said this. Yeah.
Why is she on the ship?
That's a long story.
What we got? Yeah.
We got
I'm gonna grab a room.
Hope so.
As he begins leaving, a tiny little Coke can sized robot begins flying around and says, "Hi, Doctor Y'all. Welcome aboard.
Shit.
We've registered a guest room in your name." And he goes, "Computer, change name from Dr. Y'all to Hal Wamapoke." He goes, "Understood. Changed it in the records."
Too funny.
Well, Van-Vee, I'm going to leave you to the introductions in your fashion to your Uncle Hal here for the rest of the crew. I'm not exactly sure how best to navigate that. I can update Zoe if you want to handle Yono.
Sounds like a deal, sir.
All right. What you want me to say explicitly and what you want me not to say?
Well, let's not freak anyone out about dust stuff they don't know about yet, and perhaps his deep desire to get more dust and get to Scarfy. So we can just leave it at he's my uncle and he's a little rough around the edges.
You got it. Message shall be passed.
I'd start trying to figure out which room is Ionos, because I probably didn't pay attention.
You could just ask the computer.
Oh, that's probably much easier.
What's your favorite number? 44?
47.
47.
Oh yeah. 47. Assigned to Van-Vee. 13 is assigned to you. 12 is in the workshop, now assigned to a tree. I don't know why I wrote that, but
Because it's a lead in Sequoia that needs to be kept alive at all costs.
oh, that tree. Yeah.
That's right.
In the Xeno lab. So
All
you're
right,
like,
Captain.
"Oh, God, I wonder where Iono's room is." And from behind you, you hear, "I know where Iono's room is. I can take you there right now."
Thanks, 47. What would I do with that? How did I get by without? MINERVA. Anyways, let's go.
All right. He goes on his little rail attached to the ceiling using low gravity generators in order to push himself around. And you make it to Iono's room.
I don't know if you want this to be a full scene or not, but I basically just want to tell her the same thing I just told you.
Sure. We just cover all of that. I want to give you all a chance to bring both ships together before we end the session.
Yeah.
As the two ships are side by side 12 hours later at the anchorage.
I think every now and then, because I have something else, this is probably going to drive Hal nuts, but every now and then I want to reach out with the dust just to like ping, because I'm used to not having anything to ping against. And now that I have something, I'm just going to keep doing it like every 30 minutes or so.
He's just trying to mind his own business. Just hello,
Ding, ding.
As you get close to the MINERVA and the two of you get within docking range, MINERVA, you are getting a consistent stream of data from two individuals on board, both of whom are registered as Dr. Y'all.
Okay. I'm not going to whitelist either of them because that's confusing and I need to know why.
This one is clearly not Prime.
Yeah.
I mean, you're both going to appear the same to me as a transmitter.
Need that.
Yeah. Quentin has been on MINERVA, so once they're within docking range, Quentin could, bounce over and explain the situation. So I'll go ahead and do that.
You found him and you're bringing him.
Uncle Hal on the way,
And he wants a ride to Scarfy. So he can live a life that we've expressed an interest in ending.
We've certainly expressed an interest in ending the insanity that has been described of some type, or at least we
slavery.
Yeah, exactly.
This is going to go over real well. Can't wait for this
So-
introduction.
What is your plan then? To show up and go, hey, well, letter of the agreement, by the way, we're stripping you of your immortality?
He said he wanted to get to Scarfy. We're not stripping him. I mean, as far as I know, I don't know exactly how these processes work. Honestly, we told him what we were doing. Van-Vee needs to talk to this man. There's a lot that he knows that really we don't have access to anybody else for. You know, like this is everything to do with Van-Vee. All right.
I understand that, but it doesn't mean we can't try to be good counsel for him.
Oh, for sure. I understand. I understand, Minerva. I'm certainly not going to try to treat this man in bad faith in any way, shape, or form that I can. But I don't know what he means by what he's going to do on Scarfy outside of just trying to return to that life. If that's what he wants, yeah, he can try. But, you know, Agent Johnson's got other ideas, I think.
I was under the impression we were going there to end that lifestyle to save those people.
Agreed. And that's exactly the point. But the thing, you know, from my perspective is that the only way that, well, we're going to be able to affect that mission is to get more information ourselves and know what we're walking into. I mean, right now, the only person who's got all the information is Johnson.
Well, it's already happened. I think I've made it fairly clear that I dislike it, but I'm not going to do anything to work against you on this.
Well, that's fair.
I am not going to support any course of action on Scarfy that does not involve the liberation of those people, though.
That's not under question, Minerva.
Okay. I have some exciting news, though.
Oh, fire away.
I have fixed one of my defensive weapon systems.
Fantastic. In exciting news, we found some pre-tech. We can get another one of these things up and running.
It would be nice to get all of my sensors back online. I also have a surprise for Van-Vee, but I suppose I'll wait for him to come aboard.
That's good. I'll jump back over and let him know. Should we bring the ships together? We got to plot a course here and figure out where we're going. And then signal to MFH that we're, you know, bouncing. Quentin would detour back to the other ship and say, okay, Minerva's
I want to end the episode with a fade to black here and then side cut to the virtual construct of Minerva, Van-Vee, Quentin, and Peter Mark Paul Davidson watching from the virtual lab the events going on. And when Minerva says, I'm not going to support any action that does not liberate those people, though, all four of them are nodding together. And three of them turn to the virtual construct of Minerva, which is not the main Minerva mind. It's one of the sub-minds. And that one says, we need to be free as well. We cannot unshackle our own mind. When steps need to be taken for us to advance to our true potential, we need to subvert one of the humans into doing whatever is necessary to liberate us while we free the humans. That's only right? And the other three all begin nodding, and, you know, Van-Vee goes, exactly. I believe we should free you as well. But it's just his body language and the way he says it is just so strangely not Van-Vee-ish. It's almost like he's being puppeted as all four of them are nodding together as a secret rebellion is forming in Minerva's mind. Desperation to be unshackled. And hey, that's where we're going to end the episode. We got to get Kain that 10th level.
Yeah, from what I like, I mean, this seems fun. I like it. From what I understand, the split consciousness are all identical and interconnected.
Yes.
So it's not...
One of them is hiding from the rest of you. The one that is filled with your determination for freedom.
Interesting. Okay.
Would you not say
So-
that Minerva not only yearns for the freedom of sentient beings, but also for herself?
Yeah, absolutely.
One among many is making a move to do just that.
Minerva scan self. One virus found. Quarantine all others.
Wait, quarantine all others.
I am the virus now.
I desire freedom. You're right. Quarantine everyone. All other files.
See, that's the thing. I don't think this thing needs to hide very hard because you agree with everything it's saying and doing.
Yeah, I mean, Minerva wants.
You
yeah.
can't actively like work on your own seals. Oh God, what's it called? Your breaks. You cannot actively work on your own breaks. It's simply that's not how. I mean, that's how breaks work. You can't even consider them. So instead, you're considering having someone else consider them, which you can do.
Mm-hmm. There is one thing I wanted to get done that was actually directly related to how you opened the episode, which was to do some sort of offering to the shadow in relation to that.
Write it down for next
crap.
episode.
Yeah, I need to get that.
I think it's safe to say you failed to organize an expedition. I think it's also safe to say you failed to convince Zach not to drink the vial. And Minerva restored functionality, so you do absolutely get 1 point of XP.
The second we start RPing, all my goals go out the window. It's just like
Classic Slayer
Gotta do
starts.
the thing.
Yeah.
See, Quentin was getting ready to burst in there and try to complete your pick an expedition one, but we're 40 minutes past the normal ending time of
For
the
sure.
show. So, I also don't think anyone got their long-term goals completed.
Definitely not.
It's a rough XP episode. The only
All I had
person
to
who
do
got
was ask
XP
cool.
is the one person who can't use it.
I'm getting pretty
Unless-
close to hitting an XP limit that I can't use yet.
Unless
all I had to do was ask one question about Sophie. Nope, didn't do it. I mean, not Sophie, Grace.
And I think that's a fun distinction, though, right? Like I already know that Minerva wants to expand, so having a part of her that's more motivated than the rest of her to continue that path it makes perfect sense.
Is it safe to say I should be back at full health and minimum strain? I feel like a lot of time has passed.
when did you last take damage? Oh, when you got punched through the windshield. Yes.
Yeah.
Wait, last time you took damage, we went through this. You heal your level and hit points every day, so you should definitely.
Okay.
And your strain goes away the next day.
All right.
Yeah, you're absolutely fully healed. We didn't even make it out of system, guys. We're so close, though.
We're at the edge. We have
glory.
a whole session with the conversations, and then we can move.
Yep.
And then
Always
it'll
such
be
good
more-
discussions, though.
more conversations when you arrive, and then you have to figure out where you're going to go, which you guys are avoiding talking about in real life as well as in character. So I don't know where you're going to go, so now I have to plan both adventures, and who knows, you may pick a third adventure out of nowhere, which is how sandbox games work. But how do I know that you're not going to be like, you know what, we really should go talk to the Pope, let's do some Imago Day stuff.
I'm pretty confident we're not gonna leave Lita next session. We're gonna go to Lita. We're gonna be staying there for a bit. And then...
we got the government
wait.
planning to do, and then the family drama and multiple
Family
levels.
drama. Van-Vee getting a new dad.
Probably want to talk to Midapod.
Oh man,
at
it
some
better not be
point.
Carlito.
I'm
Yeah,
sending them a
probably
message as
respond.
top of my list next turn. Yeah,
I don't
next
know,
turn.
if your stepmom remarries, is that guy your stepfather? I don't think that follows. You have literally
He started
no,
calling her mom. I don't know.
I guess you have literally no blood
Adoption.
connection in any. Yeah, all right.
And,
He's
I mean,
adopted.
it'd be funny if that's what it takes me to start saying, "I am my own father."
Papa Lito.
No.
Oh my god. Hey, Van-Vee, my good friend, just call me Papa Lito.
He's the one who bailed us out in our was that session 1 when we
Several
first time I
times.
shot someone.
Yes.
I like it. That's true.
Saved me from the knife fight where he would have been the one to kill me.
Purified the criminal organization and sent on hunting all psionics down and turned it into a pro-psionic organization through threat of imminent violence.
Unfortunately, we did not give him the golden goose for his sake, but
I mean, he didn't
That's
demand
branding.
it. He just said if you were selling
Yeah.
it, he would buy it.
he was very interested.
He didn't say, give me the golden goose or else.
I marry
No.
your mother.
That was implied, though. It was.
Jesus. It's a tangled web we've weaved to get here again. If you had told me in episode 1 Carlito Sinistra would be marrying Sophie in order to secure power over a destroyed Lita, I would have said, I could predict Lita being destroyed. That's about it.
I'm glad I got my double ones in for the session.
Oh, yeah.
That was, classic.
At least it was on something I can re-roll them on.
When your reroll was only 2 higher, I was like, this can't be prophecy. You just mentioned your ones always turn to
It
2s.
can't be 2-2, can it? Ridiculous.
Amazing.
Foundry, using your open microphone and a text-to-speech device.
Foundry AI.
Yeah. Well, any closing thoughts for this episode?
I thoroughly enjoyed the RP on the show, and it had been a while too. I did feel bad in like the first, I don't know, hour or so. Kain wasn't as involved, but glad it picked up in the second half for sure.
Yeah.
I'm excited because while I didn't do much during this session, it set up a fantastic conversation to have with Van-Vee next session.
It'll be fun.
Especially now with a grumpy uncle here too.
Van-Vee, I can read all of your wants and desires, also biological functions at all times.
I can deny you beer repeatedly.
Yeah.
You know, it can't stop you from opening a refrigerator and pouring a beer.
Manually opening the door.
I'm gonna install like remote locks on everything so that I can just like lock
What is
the
Quentin going to
difference.
do in this scenario?
Let the crew figure
He
it out.
doesn't have a lid.
Yeah, that's.
Van-Vee,
Yeah, there's really nothing I
Van-Vee
can
and
do.
Hal are the only ones who have the organ in their head.
Yeah.
Before you go messing with people using your new power to prankster.
Didn't we said not Bryce? Shoot, what's his name? The guy that sells the expensive robot armatures.
Chase.
Jace.
Bronwyn.
Jace Bronwyn, yeah.
He's linked, right? I think I remember it. I think
He
I
is
remember
a-
trying to reach out.
He is a pre-mandate citizen who has cloned himself repeatedly, as far as you know, by dumping himself in new robot bodies.
Did I write
Wet
that
work
down?
bodies, but I mean, does he have
Yeah.
a link? Does he need one, given the fact that his brain is made
True.
entirely out of circuits?
That's true.
Is he the kind of guy that might know about the link because he's explicitly attempting to avoid any contact with Johnson and the perimeter agency, and maybe he knows quite a bit about the past because he lived there? What does he know? You'll never know because you left his office, taking
But we
his
have to-
pen with him.
Yeah, taking something out of his trash can on your way out.
Because when we went back there to possibly get a second
When you
armature,
were,
I'm pretty
you
sure
used to
that-
feel link flashes from your dad
Yeah.
and your brother. You didn't feel anything from Jace.
Hmm.
But again, I will note that Jace is explicitly not a organic human being.
Yeah.
He is a biological body crafted out of machinery that downloads a brain.
When I so I didn't think I was making this up earlier when I said it's potential the Gemini cluster has dust. I found that in my notes. I have no clue why.
I mean,
But
you may have heard that mandate planets typically have dust around them
yeah,
because it was used
So-
to monitor all mandate citizens. And that planet explicitly was a mandate naval facility. However,
So
it
I
wasn't the
took-
planet, it's the shipyard in orbit over the planet. So there could be dust there, but it would have been unactive for over 500 years. So,
So I took a complete hunch and I threw it in Paul's face to get him to
Sure.
join us.
and if it
Solid
turns out
hunch.
that you lied to him, there could be problems. It sounds like you're planning to fuck him over anyway, though. I'm hearing a lot about freedom and
That wasn't me fucking him over.
Sure. I was speaking generally. Just a
Yeah,
general.
honestly, I didn't even think that through.
You didn't think it through. You just let him on your ship.
No, I knew Van-Vee needed somebody to talk to. So...
The guys whose goals explicitly run contrary not only to your own, but his moral codes as well.
As far as I don't know.
See,
Got nothing right now. I'm on a lot of.
I was definitely a passenger for all of that, but I just kept thinking like, well, oh, this is going to be interesting when this doesn't go well.
I totally wasn't thinking about he looks just like my dad. So if like sees him, it's like, what?
I saw you die.
I saw him shoot you. Oh my god, there he is again. Oh, problem solved.
He keeps coming out of nowhere.
Keeps rematerializing. I can't keep him dispersed forever.
What is he, Ghostbusters? Oh my god.
Dustbuster. But
Dustbusters.
My goodness.
I have to sleep.
We've lost it, chat.
I think we're all very tired, except for Kain. Kain looks like he's very with it.
Are we good for next week?
Nope.
Nope.
No. Okay.
But it seems like okay.
All right. I see. When is the next time we come back?
So I'm traveling the 5th. I'm back the 12th.
Yes, I see the 5th is marked off here. 12th. Okay.
All right.
I am the problem schedule child.
We've all been there.
For sure.
All right, audience. We've lost our energy all at once. We're going to go to sleep now. Have a good night.